All right, if you're watching this video, chances are you went out and you got yourself some headers. You didn't splurge and get yourself the fancy ceramic coated option, and honestly, painting them isn't an intelligent choice either. If you're like me, you decided that you want to wrap your headers. Well, in today's episode, we're going to show you exactly what to use and exactly how to do it. We're here to help. All right, so a few months back, I went on Yahoo Auctions and I sourced myself a set of 6-2 headers for my L-Series build. Okay, new units like this go online from anywhere from $600 to $1,500. When you're building on a budget, spending like that is not getting you any closer to your goals anytime soon. Okay, the alternative is to go ahead and source yourself a mildly used set with a little patina and make it work. All right, so being as that this header is going to live directly below my triple carb setup on this L-Series motor, heat transfer becomes a major concern right away. We want to eliminate that possibility entirely, okay? You could go out and have these things ceramic coated, but that just bumps the price back up to an area you weren't trying to be in the first place. We're trying to save money here. So what we're going to do instead is employ the old hot rodding method of wrapping our headers. And that's why you're going to go out and get yourself a roll of DEI titanium exhaust wrap and do the same. All right, so enough on the merits of why. We're here to show you how. And before you get started, you're going to want to make sure you have a few things laid out in front of you. Of course, you need your titanium exhaust wrap. You're going to go out and get yourself some stainless steel cable ties, okay? You're going to want to make sure that you have enough for each individual runner on the exhaust, plus the collector, plus a few extra for fuck-ups. You want a capable set of tin snips for trimming these, a good set of scissors for trimming the exhaust wrap, and a protective pair of gloves to keep your hands safe when you handle this material. You do not want to do this barehanded, trust me. So when you deal with a complicated header design like this one, it's important to keep in mind that you're trying to wrap them most effectively using the least amount of material possible. And when you look at the header, there's going to be some very complicated patterns of wrapping that are going to have to happen to get this done. That's why it's important to start with the easiest runner first, the one that exists most freely from the rest of the runners. We're going to start on cylinder number 6 and show you the basic functions on how to start wrapping. All right? First thing you're going to do is you're going to take your roll and just get yourself a little piece here to mark out how many overlaps you're going to need along the runner to wrap from the collector, where you're going to start wrapping, all the way up to the flange, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to start around here, okay? And count the overlaps in 1/4 inch intervals up the runner. So here we go. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 18. All right, so our magic number for runner number 6 ended up being 18, okay? We need 18 revolutions around this runner to wrap from the collector to the flange. Now, we need to measure out how much material is needed 18 times to arrive at the required length of material to snip off of our roll. And this is how you're gonna do it. You take your roll, you wrap it around the header, you account for how much material it takes to wrap around completely, you mark it, and there you have it. That is how much material you need to get around once. You take that, there's 1 revolution right there, you fold it over, there's 2 revolutions, and so on. You keep doubling over until you get to your magic number. All right, there's 18 with plenty extra to count. Now, by going over, we've accounted for the amount of material we may need when we encounter curves, where the overlaps become a little tighter on the outside edge. And again, it's easier to remove material at the top than it is to come up too short, okay? Better to have more in trim than waste material on a length that isn't long enough. All right, so now that we're at the top, we've gotten the end of our revolutions here around this one runner. We'll take our scissors and trim off any sort of excessive fraying that might have happened while we were handling this. Get it a little tidier looking. You don't want all these strands poking out when you fold it over. You take that end, you fold it over, so that the frayed edge tucks underneath. Grab a metal zip tie and band it up. All right, so now that we got the basic mechanics on how to wrap down with runner number 6, we're gonna get into the more complicated areas. We're gonna start looking at numbers 4 and 5 here. Basically what we're gonna do here to make this happen is wrap these runners together but separately, okay? And by that I mean, we're gonna get in here and we're gonna start wrapping runner number 4 on the back end here, where we have access to wrap somewhere around here, okay? We're gonna wrap from here to the top of the runner, tie it off like we did on number 6. Then we'll go to the runner number 5 and wrap somewhere down around here, okay? And work our way up, wrapping both runners together until we partition around here, runner number 4 already being accounted for on the previous wrap that we did when we get to number 5, and wrap to the top separately and finish off up here for number 5, okay? It'll probably make more sense once we show you. All right, so now that we finished up on cylinders 4 and 5, we got exactly what we wanted here. Both runners are completely covered, the pattern looks great. We're gonna go ahead and apply those principles that we just used to cylinders number 2 and 3 now. And we're gonna start somewhere around here, on the back end of number 2, all right? Wrap up to the top, cut it off, and then the front end of number 3, overlapping what we just did on 2, cinching it off at the top, and then at the very end of this whole process, we're gonna finish everything off by wrapping runner number 1. We'll start at the top, we'll wrap all the way down, account for what we have on number 2, wrap that into number 1, then wrap 1, 2, and 3 all together as we run down, and then we're gonna come up on 4 and 5. We're gonna wrap 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 all together as we come down around here, add number 6, wrap everything together collectively, and finish off at the end of our collector, tie it off, and we'll be done. All right, let's finish this up.
Everybody's happy when everyone's gathered at the sundial. Everyone's afraid to make friends. God knows there isn't time. Where have I been? Drunk off the glare of my skinny tin. Sin. So tan.
All right, well, there you have it. A couple hours of your time and a little attention to detail, and that's a pretty impressive result. I'm really happy with how these came out, and I cannot wait to get them on my car. But in any event, we're glad you tuned in, and we hope this helps.